I want to quickly talk to you about the law of success for a civil rights lawyer. So, if you are listening to me and you are an aspiring civil rights lawyer, or you just a current civil rights lawyer thinking about scaling his or her practice, or just moving up the ladder in a very competitive space, here is a law of success. Here is a video I want you to really pay attention to. The first thing you want to do is, if you want to be a successful civil rights lawyer, is to actually develop a growth strategy. Growth is not going to happen randomly. Growth is not going to happen gradually if you don't actually visualize it. If you don't systemize it. If you don't really structure your path towards growth. Okay, so developing a growth strategy for your law firm, for your civil rights law firm, is really quite essential. So before you take any steps forward, I want you to create a clear plan that outlines your civil rights law firm's goals for the next 1, 5, and 10 years. Okay, so you got to have this 1, 5, and 10 years sort of timeline, and you also want to allocate the resources needed to implement those changes. So simply having a vision. If you have a vision but you have no resources to actually implement that vision, to materialize that vision, you're not going to grow as a civil rights lawyer. Okay, so one thing you need to understand is that if you are a civil rights law firm, or just a law firm in general, and you don't actually strategize, you're not going to go far. I mean, if you're busy just practicing law, you're not going to grow. You're not going to go far, because a plan that really gives you guiding principles and goals actually is pretty good for you, because it sets the foundation for how your business decisions should be made. And without it, strategic growth is nearly impossible. And I'm not even talking about scalability. So you want to include a detailed organizational chart while forming your strategy. And this document actually forecasts every department's development and expansion, as well as the number of projected employees needed for it. Okay, if you are right now a solo practitioner and you want to grow in the future, you got to have this sort of org chart. Okay, so correlate every stage of your civil rights law firm with the necessary resources and budget. The second thing you want to do here is that you want to really be clear about building a successful culture. If you want to be a successful civil rights lawyer, you got to think about the culture too, because the culture is going to be the foundation for everything you do at your civil rights law firm. So what I mean here is that when I say build a successful culture, I'm speaking about putting in place a certain vision, putting in place guiding principles, so that anybody who joins your law firm has a clear idea, has a compass to actually follow. Okay, so before adding new staff, you want to establish a positive, supportive work culture for existing employees that reflects your civil rights law firm's values. And values are really important, because values are the foundation that they are the foundation that are going to push forward your civil rights law firm. So a written mission statement, for instance, can be an important first step. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you want to lay the groundwork for a culture that engenders pride, loyalty, and enthusiasm. Because the thing is that working for a civil rights law firm can be pretty competitive, but also pretty stressful in some cases. So you want to focus on work-life balance and workplace equality. That's really important, workplace equality. The two issues employees most often report as lacking. Okay, so that's something to really think about, and make sure to do something. Also, you want to regularly, and that's an important. Don't take it lightly. You want to regularly reevaluate your culture, right? Because nobody's perfect. Things happen, so you want to reevaluate your culture and adjust your policies and processes at every stage of your law firm, your civil rights law firm's growth, to support a business that works for everyone. Next, if you want to be a successful civil rights lawyer, you need to bring business skills and tools to the table. You have to understand your civil rights law firm remains a business. Okay, I don't care how much you think you are going to change things. It is still a business. You gotta treat it as a business. So bring business skills and tools to the table. Otherwise, your growth will be limited. So, one thing for sure, lawyers, especially civil rights lawyers, are not typically trained as business people, right? So, because formal learning and development outside the legal space is not something encouraged, but you have to look to continuing legal education programs as well as formal business management courses for your partners and senior lawyers. Okay, that's if you have a mid-sized practice, but if you're a solo, you have to really do these things yourself, if you will. What I mean by that is when I say bring business skills and tools to the table, I'm speaking about things like financial management, time tracking and billing, task management, things that are really quintessential to your civil rights law firm. Okay, things that are going to help your civil rights law firm actually develop real fast. And this is an important element to really think about. And what I want you to really understand here is that when I say bring business skills to the table, this is not just a one-time thing. This should be a constant development that you have to really implement big time. Okay, so let me go a little bit in detail here. When I say time tracking and billing, you want to adopt a system that records every action taken within your software. Okay, so that you can not only reduce time spent on manual billing and time tracking, but also churn out valuable metrics that inform your growth. Unless your hours are accurately recorded and billed, your progress will be stymied. Okay, and you do not want to stymie your progress. And you also have task management. And as your civil rights law firm grows, automating workflows and assigning tasks to appropriate staff ensures that your firm can improve efficiency. So, streamlined collaboration leverages employee skills and improves performance across the board. What you want to do here is that you want to have the right staff and you want to have the right procedures that actually delegates tasks in a very, I would say, automatic way. Okay, so delegation becomes not only easy when you are automating it, but second nature when tasks, deadlines, and reminders are actually mechanized. And that's what you want. You want to mechanize, you want to automate things in a pretty clear manner. Next, you also want to hire strategically. So when I say, and this is the fourth law of success for civil rights lawyer, you got to hire strategically, and you want to rely on on your growth strategy to determine which positions to fill. So hiring is balanced across your civil rights law organization. Okay, and the thing is that you got to really think about what kind of value you want to add to your client base. So you want to seek people who are not only qualified for your positions, but those who want to advance within your civil rights law firm. Because, I mean, you don't want to have lawyers who come for 2 years just to make some money and then leave. No, you want to think about lawyers who are really interested in helping you scale your civil rights law firm, who understands the ethos that you have put in place, who understand the vision that is actually driving your civil rights law firm, and who are willing to actually go the extra mile with you. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And so this is for the legal staff, but you also want to think about the non-legal staff. So if you don't already employ non-legal staff, start with an office manager who coordinates and implements your strategy across your civil rights law firm. You also need a human resources support via an internal HR position or an outsourced contract position. It really depends whether you get somebody in-house or outside. It really depends on the size of your firm, but also what you really need. Okay, and so HR handles office conflicts, disciplinary proceedings, compliance, insurance, and policies covering discrimination, diversity, and harassment. And I mean, the last thing you want is your civil rights law firm actually been sued for discrimination, which is actually a civil rights. Okay, think about that. So a good HR team will also provide employee training and implement your firm's policies, including creating an employee handbook. If you want to be a successful civil rights lawyer, you also need to focus on existing clients. So, this is the fifth law of success for civil rights lawyers. And the reason why you want to focus on existing clients is that you want to reduce your CAC, your CAC, your cost of client acquisition. Okay. And the only way you can reduce that is through referrals, because then you don't need to spend any more on acquiring new clients. You don't need to do any. You don't need to run ads. You don't need to think about CPC, cost per click, all that kind of stuff. No, you are having referrals, and referrals are free, right? As long as you get the job done upfront, you have satisfied customers. They are going to refer. They're going to refer others to you. Okay, but what I wanted to say here is that when you think about existing clients, it's not just about referrals. It's also about retention, because client retention is crucial to law firm growth, specifically in the civil rights law sort of space. Because otherwise, your firm will constantly be focused on replacing your clients. Okay, so identify your most profitable cases and clients, evaluate their needs, and plan to support them as you grow, and that will really help you, especially in terms of what I call loyalty. Okay, of course you do not want to have. I mean, it's not every day that you will see some civil rights cases actually popping up, but the thing is, when consumers think about civil rights, they think about police brutality, for instance, or those highly covered cases in the news. But you have other civil rights cases that are not really that popular, or really that don't create that much buzz, but they're always happening every single day in this country. Okay, so you want to really focus on existing clients. You want to provide consistent communication with them. You want to offer convenient online payment options and administrative processes. That's going to help you big time. And you want to keep a friendly, hospitable in-person experience. If you want to be a successful civil rights lawyer, you also want to develop new clients. And of course, you want to focus on existing clients. But if you don't have new clients, at some point, your business, your law firm, your civil rights law practice will actually stall. And you do not want to get to that level where you actually you are stagnating. Okay, so with your existing clients securely in place, it's actually time to attract new ones. So you want to apply metrics captured by your legal practices management software to calculate the percentage of leads who make appointments, appear for appointments, and sign with your firm. Then you want to isolate your most effective demographics to make your marketing more targeted and effective. That's going to help you big time, and especially when it comes to refining your message, refining your storytelling, and refining your services too. Okay, and it's all about going deep. It's all about being as granular as possible. It's all about looking at psychographics, your leads psychographics. Here I'm speaking about your leads psychology, geography, the kind of demographic cluster they're in. That way you have a clear idea about what I call your ideal avatar. Okay, so you know what kind of avatar, what kind of ideal avatar you need to market your civil rights law firm services to. You want to identify the types of new clients your firm wishes to attract to focus your growth. Many civil rights law firms focus on increasing the number of overall clients, but don't overlook a strategy that concentrates on fewer clients with bigger projects. Because at the end of the day, it's all about revenue, right? It's all about using your time wisely It's all about knowing what works and what doesn't work. It's not just about it's not just about pursuing a crazy reality or a crazy I would say initiative. Next, you want to utilize marketing and branding. So, this is the seventh law of success for civil rights lawyers, marketing and branding. So, once your firm has identified your ideal marketing segments, you want to focus on the features that make your law firm unique, including your services and reputation. Use those characteristics as a springboard for your marketing program. You want to hire professional marketing and branding assistants to build an effective website, for instance, digital marketing, social media, SEO, and content marketing. While these services come at a price, they also give your firm a professional polish, helping you generate more leads and firmly establish your firm's long-term market success. Okay. So this is kind of important to think about. So if you want to attract clients online, you need to really understand that digital marketing is going to help you big time. Digital marketing actually is going to help you as a civil rights attorney because you are able to use the internet as a powerful lever to attract the right leads that you really need. And that's what you need this year, by the way. So while digital marketing is important for civil rights lawyers, you have increased visibility, you have targeted outreach, you are able to build trust and credibility, you have engagement with the community, which is really important. You have cost effective marketing. No need to actually go through traditional marketing and spend thousands of dollars. You can actually go by with a tiny portion of that. You can stay also relevant. Okay, that's really important. So when it comes to civil rights lawyers, I want to give you 7 digital marketing tactics to actually help you big time. The first thing you want to do here is to understand your target audience. You got to understand your target audience. If you want to really speak clearly to them, you want to have a great storytelling. You need to understand them. You got to build a user friendly website so that you have a clear idea of what works or what doesn't work. Okay, and you want a website that's easy to navigate with clear menus, straightforward information, and accessible contact options. Don't complicate it. Okay. You want to implement search engine optimization, so your SEO should be top of your mind. Okay, so basically you want to optimize title tags, meta descriptions, and header tags so that you can increase your site's searchability. You want to leverage social media platforms. That's an important element to really again talk directly to your target audience. See what kind of social media platforms your audience is on: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and so on and so forth. You want to create informative and engaging content, and you have to do this on a consistent basis. Okay. You want to utilize email marketing campaigns. Those can be very helpful as well. You also want to really run targeted pay-per-click ads. I spoke about that a little. I spoke about that a little earlier in terms of PPC ads. Okay, so bottom line is you have lots of possibilities. You can use Google Analytics, for instance, as a part of your strategy to beef up your civil rights law firm's marketing on a consistent basis. So, as a coda in today's conversation, I spoke to you about the law of success for civil rights lawyers. I gave you 7 top strategies to really follow this year to really lay a strong foundation for your civil rights law firm. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.